You're watching Firestar Tarot, where the truth speaks louder through spirit. Tonight we open not one, but two cold cases. Two voices that shook the world and were silenced by bullets. Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls. They weren't just artists. They were prophets of pain, visionaries of rage, and symbols of legacy. Their murders were public, but their justice never came. Tonight, we ask the cards. Who killed Tupac? Who killed Biggie? And why is the truth still buried? Let's go through the final days of Tupac Shakur. September 7th, 1996, in Las Vegas, Nevada, the city of sin. After attending a Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand, Tupac and Death Row CEO Suge Knight decide to drive to a nightclub. Earlier that night, though, Tupac and Suge were caught on a hotel surveillance beating up Crips member Orlando Anderson. At 11:15 p.m., a white Cadillac pulls up to the BMW that Tupac and Suge are driving. 13 shots are fired. Tupac is hit 4 times. September 13th, 1996, Tupac dies from internal bleeding. He was only 25 years old. Now, obviously, there is theory circulating of retaliation for the Crips member, Orlando Anderson. Some say an inside job by the label Death Row, that the CIA or the FBI were silencing an influential black voice. And, of course, the fake death theories, that Tupac himself faked his death. Now we got Biggie Smalls. Was it retaliation or a setup? March 8th, 1997. Los Angeles, California. Biggie attends a Vibe magazine party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. After the party ends around midnight, he and his entourage leave the party in SUVs. 12:45 a.m., a Chevy Impala pulls up next to the SUV that Christopher Wallace is riding in and opens fire. Biggie is hit 4 times. Now, Christopher dies that night on the way to the hospital. He's only 24 years old at the time of his death. Now, security cameras in the area malfunction. All the witnesses gave conflicting stories. The murder weapon, however, does match that to a LAPD gang unit officer who was later linked to Death Row Records. So the theories go that this was a retaliation for Tupac, that of course it was a hit orchestrated by Suge Knight himself, the LAPD corruption cover-up, and of course the case remains open nearly 30 years later. So let's take a look at the energy that night surrounding Tupac's death. Remember to keep an open mind, to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. We have the Tower in the upright, the Knight of Wands reversed, and the Two of Swords. This definitely feels like sudden destruction. Karmic explosion. So yeah, absolutely, it feels like retaliation or paying the price for playing the game. I mean, with the Knight of Wands in the reverse, this is a fire that couldn't be contained, that couldn't be controlled. Violence fueled by pride and chaos. This was a moment of choice. I mean, his fate could have shifted is what I'm trying to say, but forces collided. His energy feels explosive. And I mean, he was on the edge of something greater, but unfortunately he was surrounded by that chaos. The Tower shows that this wasn't just personal. It was an energetic fallout. There was rage, retaliation, and a spiritual contract ending early. Now let's take a look at who is energetically behind Tupac's murder. Again, remember to take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We have the Seven of Swords in the upright. He was lied to, he was deceived, and he was afraid. He was afraid because he was betrayed, because he was set up and he knows it. This was someone close, very close. Someone who was pretending to protect him. And they took advantage of the chaos that he was encountering, the hard time that he was going through. This was not random. I mean, this was absolutely calculated. From inside, from close, from nearby. What did Suge Knight, what role did he play in Tupac's death? We have the devil reversed. I mean, clearly there was a toxic tie. And I mean, whether or not he pulled the strings, he does represent control, fear. I'm also getting like this binding energy, contracts, manipulation. I mean, this is definitely suggesting that Suge may have not actually pulled the trigger, but he benefited. He allowed it. So let's take a look at Biggie and who was behind Biggie's death. Again, remember that energy's fluid. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And yes, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So we have the Justice card reversed, the Seven of Swords in the upright, and the King of Swords in the reversed. So the system absolutely failed him. So this couldn't have been done without the system helping in some way, shape, or form. Again, this is something very corrupt at the core. Seven of Swords, I mean, obviously someone deceived him, someone lied to him. Someone inside that closed circle betrayed him. This is someone who is in high position, like position of power or authority. So law enforcement or industry power abusing control. It feels like Biggie didn't just fall to violence, he was set up. And I mean, the Justice card in reverse is absolutely screaming from the spirit world. Someone planned this. Someone covered it up. And the King of Swords in the reversed, that's an agent of control. Someone official. Someone very dangerous. I want to know if the murderers were connected. We have the Devil in the upright, the Eight of Pentacles reversed, and the Moon in the upright. Contracts, control, manipulation. I mean, this is pointing to the music industry or, again, even something bigger. Maybe both running together, in connection. Again, this was not random, this was calculated. Yes, with the Moon card here, there's still secrets, there's still things that are unknown. There's still things kept secret, kept hidden. This is painful, this is emotional. I'm picking up psychically that this is buried in fear. Someone's afraid, and that's why they're covering this up. They're afraid of the truth coming out. They're afraid of the truth being uncovered. And yes, the energy is absolutely connected. This wasn't a coincidence or an isolated event. The Devil card suggests control. And this is control through money, through power, through contracts, through manipulation, possibly even ritualistic. I'm getting this deep spiritual fog. It's cloudy. Things aren't being seen as, it's not being able to find your way. This is why the case has never been cleared. There's someone intentionally making sure that it's not found. They're doing everything in their power to keep this hidden, to keep this beneath. All right, let's take a look at Biggie. Who was energetically behind Biggie's murder? And of course, I want to know if Biggie's death was retaliation for Tupac's death. And if it wasn't connected, was it a different conspiracy? I also want to know if the police covered this up in either, okay, in either of their murders. So when it comes to who was behind Biggie's death, I am obviously getting a very corrupt official, right? Again, that King of Swords reverse is coming through. Someone who took advantage of their authority, who took advantage of their power, and who used that power to take advantage of course, Biggie. And this is a corrupt authority figure. And of course, this points to law enforcement, security forces, someone inside the system, working the shadows. Again, possibly tied to LAPD corruption. Was it retaliation? We have the Two of Pentacles. Definitely a dual motive, meaning to make it look like retaliation. But there's another layer here. There's money, there's protection, fear of exposing. I mean, clearly Biggie became a symbol, and someone used that. Justice, reverse, yes, absolutely. The justice system failed Biggie. It failed Tupac. And it was designed to fail them. I mean, we're talking about lies, evidence being buried, systematic involvement of suppressing the truth. These weren't just street killings. These were controlled takedowns. Two voices who became too powerful, and two systems too afraid to let them live. What looks like gang violence on the surface may have been industry sacrifice beneath. Power, money, fear, and two prophets silenced by a system too corrupt to name the names. But my cards don't lie. But the world did. We have two men, two stars, both extinguished too soon. You see, Tupac's and Biggie's voices were never truly silenced. They echo through truth seekers like me and you, through readers and rebels. If this reading stirred something up inside of you, comment the flame emoji and say justice still burns. Let me know your theory in the comments down below. Was it gang retaliation, an industry sacrifice, or something no one's dared to say out loud? Subscribe for more tarot investigations into music legends, cold cases, and the spiritual truths beneath fame. Until next time, stay protected and trust your fire.